Ladies and gentlemen, my name is IndustrialFaith. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Factorio 4X, your 15-minute Factorio fix. This is Season 3, Episode 1. We are back on the island. And the reason I'm doing this, which may seem a little silly, but the reason I'm doing this is because I want to build a system that supports 20 labs, 20 research labs. So yeah, that's basically it. And I know this is kind of a safe way to build and I don't know what it's going to take to build and support 20 labs. 10 labs is the most I've ever done, so we're doubling sort of my comfort zone, so to speak. So this is basically, that's all this is. And it's, because it's safe, it's going to give me more time to mess with it. So essentially what I'm going to do is, I think last time I was on here, I had a lot of issues with throughput. And so by focusing on throughput, this time I should be able to support 20 labs. I don't think I can support more, but that's my goal, 20 labs. I realize, woo, wow. Let's not be too audacious here. Well, but that's the thing, though. 20 labs is a lot, and I'm not going to do any solar. I'm not doing any solar at all. There will be no solar. It's going to be 100% coal-powered glory. Well, I guess you could call it that. I call it that. I mean, I have no issues with it. So that's the goal. And this is your usual start. You want to get, except that, well, part of the problem I'm going to have with this one, or I am going to have with this start, is I remember the last playthrough and I didn't like how the smelting setup happened. So I'm essentially going to make a bigger smelting setup, and then I'm going to take my bus and I'm going to build it horizontally, east to west. Specifically, starting east, going west. And what that'll do is that'll leave essentially the entire eastern side of the side of the map. So what's going to happen is I'm going to kind of smelt stuff on the right and then build the bus out there, and the bottom will be power, and that'll be the bus. So, and I don't want to build over any oh, that is a little chunk of iron. Oh, I didn't, okay. So I'm going to be, that's the plan, and it's an interesting plan, I think. And I'm just going to, again, and so the fun part, and by fun I mean interesting, is that because I'm going to be pollution central, I'm going to have issues with biters probably about 3¼ seconds after I step off the island and onto the mainland. Now I'm going to need more iron and more copper, and because I'm using the same seed, I already know where there's 2 big chunks of iron and copper. So I'm going to go at some point, probably about the time that I'm going, starting purple science, I will, because I'll have to leave the island, is I'll go out there and I'll start setting up trains again. Probably. I don't know if I'm going to, now here's the thing, because I'm using the entire right side of the island, the east side of the island for smelting and so forth, I don't have to do any smelting on the mainland if I don't want to. And in fact, I think I won't. I will use the goal, or my idea right now, and I've done 7 hours of this. My goal is to go ahead and do all the smelting on the island. Now I have room for it. I absolutely have room for it, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now one of the things I'm going to start doing is here fairly soon is I'm going to set up making landfill. After I get my science running, of course. Pardon me, I have a fresh cup of coffee and it's quite delicious. So what I'm going to do is, at some point, I remember when I started the last one on this island, my thing was, oh, I'm going to go to entirely, not going to use my coal for anything. I'm going to transition out of smelting. Eventually I'm going to go entirely coal powered. And I can tell you, because I'm a slow guy, and I don't... Whoop, Sorry about that. That was my chair. I was leaning back because I kicked something and I wanted to see what it was. I've played 7 hours of this. I'm starting the commentary just after finishing 7 hours, and it's like a job. It's a charity right now, actually. I'm only marginally successful, so take that how you will. I am able to support 20 labs. So spoiler alert, I kind of am able to support 20 labs, but I start having issues with iron throughput, big time. I found you use iron a heck of a lot more than you use copper. So much more. I do have an issue with copper at one point, and then I basically never have that issue again. So at the very least, the plan right now is to get as far as I can, and I'm hoping I can at the very least support blue science with 20 labs from the material entirely on the island. The answer is no, but I'm going to make a good attempt for quite a long time. In other words, I'm going to fake it. So this is my not very many boxes method of making signs. 2 boxes, 4 inserters, and 2 assemblers, good to go. And that'll run for a very long time. And that's because all science takes so long to make that you can easily be pulling resources out of the same box. You can be inputting to a box and pulling the alternate resources out at the same time, and it's not going to be an issue. And again, I'm not a very speedy player at this. I'm really not fast at this game. If you ever watch, there's a guy who does speed runs just about every Sunday. And here I'm starting to space my first smelter for iron. And that's me discovering, oh, steel is a green sign or red sign. So that's neat. I thought it was a red and green, but it couldn't be well, could it be red and green? Yeah, it could be a red and green. And so here I am building all this stuff. And for spoiler alert, for as much as I complain about how much splitters take to make your inventory, 7 hours in, I still haven't made a splitter assembly machine. It just always seems like there's something else to make. So, yeah, it's the hobbyist's nightmare, or I guess you could say the hobbyist problem. So as you can see, that's where I'm building my smelters. I'm going to build, eventually I build 4 side by side. 2 will be iron, 2 will be copper. Having 2 smelters for copper is plenty. I'm not having an issue with iron, or with copper, I mean, after that. 1 will do pretty good. Now again, I'm not trying to make my copper survive off that little patch there to the south. At this point, I have some dream. Oh, hello, airplane. There's my local small airport up to the north of me. I think it's pretty cool. Airplanes are neat. What am I saying? Anyways, I'm not going to... I have ambitions of using that copper patch, but as I have 2 larger ones, or I have a larger one to the north and another one north of that, yeah, not going to be using that. So now I have brightened the video so you can see at night. So that is the fuel for smeltering, and the hard part here is building the miners. And I'm hoping that the beta build of Factorio is going to have different levels of miners, so forth, or mining drills, things like that. One does hope. So, and now you see me dividing it like that because I plan on feeding 2 smelters with this, and I think this iron patch should. I mean, we'll see. And here I'm just, okay. There we go. I really like this design. Vertically, it measures out better for the electric furnaces, but it all kind of works out in the end. So there's me getting more iron. I'll be honest, you can run little smelters like that to get your iron pretty much for the rest of the game, and you're always going to be going back to them. It's rare. I don't build things like electric furnaces. I don't build them in a machine because it's not like the storage tanks. I have no idea why I saved there. So yeah, I'm going to have to use the land. No, that's right. I was hitting escape trying to get out of the map. There's a lot. I spend a lot of time chopping trees here. I'm very lumberjack-esque. This little adventure through the woods. And now I try to chop down enough trees to give myself room to do stuff, and that's the gist of what I'm trying to do. I'm not actually worrying about pollution again, of course, because I'm on an island and I'm safe. So I believe this is where I start setting up landfill, because this is where I start needing landfill. Now here's the funny part. Even these 4 machines, it takes a long time to produce this stuff, and it's kind of crazy because it takes 20 stone ore to make how do you say it, to make 1 piece of landfill. And you should. It's kind of a cheat item, really. I mean, if you think about it. So I like how you can hang their asses out over the water. I think that makes me laugh. So here I'm gonna set everything up, and I'm not going to limit the box. I want to make as much landfill as possible because there's a lot of stuff I'm going to be doing. And there we go. We're running. And then you make landfill, you turn it on, and you walk away. And there's me realizing I didn't hook everything up. So part of the plan I'm also going to be doing is along the bus, I'm going to be making everything on the north side of the bus. The south side of the bus is where I'm going to put all my science machines. Everything that goes to science goes south of the bus. And the reason for this is that way I'm not building, I don't have to fit science in on top. I don't have to fit science in along with a bunch of assembly machines. Everything I make, science is going to do its thing. Now I'm trying to measure and set up a bus so I can have a path and a utility area and stuff like this. I think I do okay. It's because a bus like this, you end up needing a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. And there's a point where I can't run stuff. I can't run stuff along the bus. For example, there's one point at which I think about, oh, maybe I'm using boxes to measure because belts seem kind of weird to me. So yeah, okay, I'm done with that. The copper I think I'd leave up for quite a while. But the iron's good. Landfill. Yeah, that's when I figured out, oh, I had it wrong. So I'm going to end up using all that stone to make furnaces and so forth. There we go. And one of them's still unpowered, and I'm looking at them just like, what is... There we go. I'm going to monkey with it and just, let it go. So, this is kind of a slow beginning and I'm setting up my second iron smelting area because I know I'm going to need tons and tons and tons of iron. So I don't want to... you don't use a lot of copper right now, really. I mean, the thing you use copper the most for are inserters. That's what you use the copper for. You don't actually need much else. And here I'm not sure how much space I'm going to need, so I put out a bunch more, doing a little more research. ladies and gentlemen, looks like we're wrapping this up. Thank you for joining me for Season 3 of Factorio 4X, your 15-minute Factorio fix. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Have a good night, and bye-bye.